So is that why you're upset?
Yeah, that's why I didn't get no ice cream.
It's so hard to yell at them.
Police, yeah.
So no calling 911 unless it's a real emergency, okay?
I don't think the parents knew the kid called, but the cop was very nice. Quick break. Megan does news coming up now. YouTube is up. My apologies. I thought I turned it on, but apparently not. We're live.
Taking a nap.
We're live everywhere here on this Wednesday morning at WIBX.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM news time is 6:35. I'm Megan Stone. It's 26 degrees, a morning dip where we just see a slight decrease in temperatures before they jump back up, and it's under clear skies. Governor Hochul is weighing in on the ICE arrest of Columbia grad student and pro-Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil. Hochul says she condemns any form of anti-Semitism, but she also thinks the federal immigration focus needs to be on dangerous criminals. And in this particular case, the facts aren't clear. She says a judge should decide. Khalil, a leader of an anti-Israel demonstration on campus, remains in custody in Louisiana after ICE agents told him his visa was being revoked. A hearing is set for today after a federal judge Monday temporarily blocked efforts by the Trump administration to deport him. Meanwhile, protests continue over Khalil's arrest, including at Columbia, where supporters staged a walkout on Tuesday. Department of Education staff are reportedly being told offices will be closed today. According to multiple reports, staff received an email Tuesday notifying them that they had to vacate the department's D.C. headquarters as well as its building in Maryland and Virginia by 6 p.m. The email said the closure is for security reasons. It added that no employees would be allowed in the buildings today for any reason and that they would reopen Thursday. Last week, reports said President Trump is preparing to sign an executive order that aims to dissolve the Education Department. I wonder what that'll do with my student loans. My goodness. Free at-home COVID tests from the government are going away. The U.S. government program that orders them is no longer accepting orders, according to its website. Officials gave no reason for the change in policy. Tests ordered before March 9th will still be shipped. Some local pharmacies may still offer the tests, and some health insurance companies may reimburse folks who buy the tests in pharmacies and stores. And the measles outbreak in Texas has passed the 200 mark. More than 24 new cases have been identified since Friday. The Texas Department of Health and Human Services says that 29 patients are now hospitalized. In a statement, they said measles is highly infectious, and they predict that number will keep going up. There have been reported cases in at least a dozen states, including New York. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up.
Colder weather has pushed in now this morning, but milder weather quickly going to bounce back. By Friday, we're once again up near 60 degrees. Today, sun to clouds, 40. Some rain and snow showers around tonight. Little, if any, accumulating snow possible. Maybe up to a slushy inch in some spots, especially out across the North Country. Clouds, 47 tomorrow. Friday, partly sunny, milder, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Your WIBX news time is 6:38. It is 26 degrees under clear skies. I'm Megan Stone.
You know, it's very interesting how we're looking at today. It's going to be 45 degrees or so, and we're looking at today as being cool. It's cold again. Isn't it funny how just a few weeks ago it was going to be 45, and we were calling that sweltering? You put it all in perspective, right? It's all relative.
My windows were open yesterday. It was lovely.
I got to say, a person that I just loved and inspired me early in my career to do song parodies, because I love doing song parodies, Bob Rivers passed away. Did you see that, Davey?
Oh, no.
Bob Rivers, really a legend in radio. He had worked in Seattle for many years, and he did the Twisted Christmas albums that came out at the holiday time. The big one off that was like the 12 Days, 12 Days version.
12 Pains of Christmas.
12 Pains, kind of like a Weird Al, but just on radio. And he also did my favorite, instead of walking around in women's underwear
Yes.
was the big one that he did. But many. He struggled during COVID, ended up dying of cancer of the esophagus. And it was Pretty sad. Anyway, he's passed away. I'll play a few clips of that coming up here. Quick break, and coming up, Ryan Schmell's Fox News Radio on WIBX.
Looking for an insurance agency that treats you like family? Look no further than WB Payne Insurance, a family-owned and operated agency serving the community for over 65 years. At WB Payne Insurance, they understand that family comes first, and they're here to protect what matters most to you. Whether it's your home, your car, or your business, they've got you covered. WB Payne Insurance. Learn more or get a quote today by visiting WBPayneco.com. WB Payne Insurance, protecting your family like it's their own, with smart solutions to save you money.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
My apologies, Barry, on the on getting YouTube up. Got everything all set up. I thought I hit start, and I didn't hit start, apparently. Or it didn't work. Who knows? Ryan Schmell standing by for Fox News Radio right now. Ryan, good morning. So we got a potential deal to avert a shutdown through the House, but the Senate's going to be very interesting. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's going to be interesting because Speaker Johnson has put the Senate in quite the predicament. They are using the whole let's vote on this bill and let's get the heck out of town trick, which is quite a maneuver because now the Senate pretty much has the option of passing this bill or the government essentially is going to shut down. So Democrats are put in quite a predicament.
I just don't. I mean, you already have some Republicans that are saying no. You have to have Democrats to do it. And without concessions, I don't see that happening. What do you think?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's some Democrats who still say they're undecided. The only Republican we have as a hard no right now is Rand Paul of Kentucky, who, like Thomas Massie, had similar issues with the bill. But the reality is, too, is that, there are Democrats out there who don't want to avoid a government shutdown, especially when you'll see a lot of those, like Mark Warner, for example. He's a Democrat from Virginia. Well, he's got a lot of government workers in his state. Does he want to put them through even more than what they're already kind of dealing with the uncertainty about the future of the federal government and the job situation. He might say, I'm not going to take your paycheck away and give you one more thing to worry about.
Yeah, it is. This was quite a move by Mike Johnson. There's no doubt about it.
And it was impressive that they were able to get this thing through. There were people who never voted for a CR in their lives, but President Trump was able to get them on board. And as one member put it, he said, "This is not Lucy kicking the football. This is President Trump saying, 'Give me the ball, I'm kicking it.'"
Yeah. There's no doubt the president has a great deal of power over Republicans. Ryan, I know you're short on time. We appreciate it. We'll do it again later in the week. Thank you.
Sounds good, my friend. Thank you.
Ryan Schmell with Fox News Radio. Okay, I got a bunch of comments here, by the way.
Oh, boy.
By the way, Wayne saying that Davey is basically calling me out on this seat at the odd. Davey's basically telling you to be a man, for God's sakes. Yeah. Okay. Wayne is also talking about we were talking about pickles yesterday. Pickle juice, right? I don't know how we got on that topic. But Wayne saying this morning, marinate your chicken breast in pickle juice. I am going to try that today.
That actually might be very tasty.
Because I have chicken on the chicken in the fridge. It's got to be cooked. And Mike this morning, Lampkin was celebrating his Nye auto deal. Oops, that went to the women. That is true. That Nye has kind of switched to the women doing the commercials, Davey.
Well, they did.
After the men were doing so poorly.
They did the men, then they did the women, then they did Garrett Schrader. Did you see the one with Garrett Schrader?
I did see that.
And then they did Otto the Orange.
I did see that.
Now it's just him and his sales manager doing the spots.
Okay, all right. You're keeping track for us. I appreciate it.
They play all over on my TV. Every other stop break is a Nye commercial.
A new experiment put together by Clorox shows that people are actually become more happy and satisfied when it comes to cleaning a toilet with Clorox than they are petting a puppy. I'm sorry. I'm with them 100% on this.
Were they like breathing in different types of fumes when they were creating that study?
They feel better about making sure their toilet seat is clean than they feel better when they pet a puppy.
What's
more
the
examples.
alternative? You feel worse when you sit on a dirty toilet seat than when a dog bites you?
I don't think they're looking at it that way. New study shows the happiest cities in America. And it looks like California swept the top 3 spots, believe it or not. Coming in at number 5 is Overland Park, Kansas, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, San Jose, and Fremont, California. Apparently, those people are just the happiest in America.
Or they have a lot of money and they paid off the survey.
That's possible. There is no way in our part of the country we would be happy after the last 2 months of winter that we've been dealing with.
Yeah, fair point.
To be honest. There is a new conspiracy. The new conspiracy theory, people are talking about mermaids existing and rich people eating them. I don't think I'm going to read that story. Today is National Girl Scouts Day.
There we go. Where's our Thin Mints?
And it is that Girl Scout cookie. They're available all over the place. Davey, you already have them? You look like you do.
I bought a couple boxes last weekend when I was out. I bought 2 boxes of peanut butter. I love the peanut butter.
The peanut butter, the tag-alongs.
I could eat I used to order like 5-6 boxes from my goddaughter, but now she's not in Girl Scouts anymore.
Those boxes go so quickly, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
I don't know if the boxes and the cookies are smaller today.
They have gotten smaller.
It seems like they have because I in a sitting you can eat a box.
So I used to put my Thin Mints in the freezer, and so I got a new box forgetting that I had an old one. They were selling them when I visited my parents. So I compared the sizes. You cannot gaslight me, Girl Scouts. You shrank your cookies, but they're still delicious.
Yeah, so when my goddaughter used to sell them, her mom used to text me and say, Uncle Dave, do you want to buy Girl Scout cookies, I would say, yeah, put me down for 6 or 7 boxes.
Yeah, and away they go.
There you go. And that's why you were her favorite uncle.
Yeah.
The tagalongs are good in the freezer too, by the way. Woman in New Jersey, talk about, here we go with honesty, discovered that she had not returned a library book from 99 years ago. It was 99 years overdue. Her grandfather checked it out in 1926 and never returned it. It's a book called Homemade Toys for Girls and Boys, which could still be relevant. The library doesn't find people anymore, and it's a good thing because it would have been a lot of money. Here she is and the library talking about it.
I'm looking through and I find this book.
Homemade Toys for Girls and Boys, and it was published in August of 1915.
And I find the dates, and I'm thinking this had to have been taken out by my grandfather. They're supposed to be returned 3/31/26. And unfortunately, he passed away the next year. I said I have to return this book to the library.
You know, it's 99 years late, but this book is in great shape. It would probably, with inflation and everything else, be over $18,000 in fines, but we don't have fines anymore. We are fine-free.
Well, there you go. She would have just had to keep that quiet. All right.
Wow.
And this new trend, and I got to say it works, but it can backfire because both my son and daughter have actually tried this and ended up sitting in a first-class seat on an airplane. Oh. The new trend is it's an airport theory, where you wait to board the plane until only 15 minutes before the plane is going to take off. So they check you in quickly, and then you get they're like, wow, the only 2 seats left are the especially if you're traveling alone, is the front row seat. So we'll upgrade you to the first class seat. Nice little trick. However, I think TSA is onto it. In fact, I know that my kids did it at LaGuardia, and here they are at LaGuardia saying the theory is flawed and you shouldn't do it.
I absolutely could not do it in 15 minutes. Is there a trick to doing it?
We're actually here 3 hours early right now, so we're just waiting.
I would be anxious about it, yeah.
I don't think I could do it in 15 minutes. But I'm always up for a challenge. I'm pretty tardy most of the time anyway, so, why not try to rush it a little more, push it a little bit more, and see if I couldn't make it to my gate in 15 minutes.
Well, there you go. Give it a try. But you might get bumped from the plane if you do it, so you got to be a little bit on the careful side. I've been going back and forth with Mayor Galimi this morning on the issue, and we might hear from him this morning. I know we'll talk to Katie Aiello, but this is really this tax increase. The belief is that there will be cuts in departments if they. Well, I think the if is gone now. They will not override the tax cap. There are budget amendments that are put forward that at least the Democrats feel are going to. These amendments are going to save money in the budget to the point where maybe Utica will only need about a 2% tax increase or whatever it is under the tax cap. We'll get to both of them coming up in just a little bit here. Quick break. It is 6:54 at WIBX.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, Much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
But you never know, right? You never know. Okay, Deeds in New Hartford is all over us this morning. First of all, on your student loans, you made your little comment. I knew that was going to come back to get you.
It's all right.
On student loans, I get it. Listen, I have kids that went through college. We probably didn't do the best job of saving for college. Really didn't have that opportunity, probably because we work in a world called radio, which is what you're talking about. But it is, listen, it is the one thing you cannot file bankruptcy on. You cannot file bankruptcy on your student loans. And it is a racket. And I think they lure your kids in, our kids in, to all of these promises, this grandiose, this belief that you're going to actually work in the field that you actually went to school for.
And you're going to be paid enough that you could pay it off.
What was your major?
My major was journalism.
Okay.
And I went to a very good school that got me out of the slush piles. But the
What
problem
school?
is Emerson.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but the problem is the interest rates. I know Lance and Lee talked about that, but the interest rates, let's say you get, it was $120,000, I think, roughly, when I went to get my 2-year degree, a master's. But with interest rates at 8 and 9%, in addition to a field that, doesn't pay the same as, let's say, STEM or finance or business, I've been paying for over a decade during the pandemic when student loans were shut down.
Well, they lured you in during the pandemic. They shut everything down, but you were paying interest on that.
I was. So the long story short is I threw money at it as the, people in the news told me to do. I thought that my principal would be brought down to near nothing. Guess what? They changed the wording. So the fact that my payments were brought down to zero, all the money I threw at them for the 4-year, 3-year pause went to my interest. So basically I was better off sitting on that money and saving it. It's so ridiculous.
Understand. Believe me, I truly, truly, truly understand. And then Deeds in New Hartford said your Girl Scout cookies are toxic. And there actually is a lawsuit. It's a class action lawsuit that claims 13 varieties of Girl Scout cookies sourced from California, Iowa, and Louisiana. Now, I think ours, the ones that we use, are made by a different company, but I got to look into that. Are testing positive for certain toxins that can have adverse health effects, including neurological disorders, reproductive problems, gut issues, and cancer. Will that stop you from buying and eating the Girl Scout cookies?
Killing us deliciously.
Probably not.
Will it get me out of paying student loans? Give me all the Thin Mints.
Probably not. Yeah. All right. Coming up next hour, as Davey said, we're going to do Micah's free money question of the day, and today it'll be worth $200. Great question coming at 7:35. We'll get to that. This budget issue was a big deal in the city of Utica. We'll touch on it with Mayor Galimi and Katie Aiello. The Jeremy Rosenthal report coming up as well, and we'll talk about what do you do when you find an injured animal in the wild. We'll get to all of this coming up next hour. Stand by. Of course, your full forecast, a little cooler today. It's coming up with the news on WIBX. Next.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Europe is retaliating. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. To the new U.S. tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports that went into effect this morning.
$26 billion worth of U.S. goods will be affected by the tariffs announced in Brussels today. They're being imposed on imports of products ranging from boats to bourbon to motorbikes. Strong but proportionate, says European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. She admits they're bad for business, but European leaders feel they have to respond.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, the president had threatened to double the steel and aluminum tariffs on Canada as punishment for a charge on electricity being sent to the U.S., but he backed down when that charge was canceled. The president insists tariffs will make the U.S. money and bring manufacturing back.
Other countries have taken away our business. They've taken away our jobs.
Now, tariff fears have been hurting the economy, and that led to a big stock market sell-off. The Dow has plunged 2,500 points so far this month. The House has passed a bill to provide government funding to prevent a shutdown by Friday's deadline. House Speaker Mike Johnson says
it falls on the desk of Chuck Schumer. He is the leader of the Democrats on that side, and he must determine whether he wants to fund the government, do the responsible thing, or whether he wants to shut the government down.
Now, Republicans will need support from some Senate Democrats to pass the bill that House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries opposes, hoping the Senate version gets rid of proposed cuts to some programs.
The strong House Democratic vote in opposition to this reckless Republican spending bill speaks for itself.
Now, in Ukraine, the U.S. has resumed military aid and intelligence sharing after that country agreed to a 30-day ceasefire. President Trump says
Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also.
Well, the U.S. had talks in Saudi Arabia also last month with the Russians. America's listening to Fox News.
Meet Kelsey. When she found out she was pregnant, she wasn't sure where to turn. But after meeting with the counselors at a preborn network clinic, they welcomed her and supported her and provided her with a free ultrasound. Kelsey heard her baby's heartbeat and she chose life.
When a mother looks at her child through a sonogram, it does something to you. You know, I ended up deciding to keep my son, who is now 5 years old today. He's amazing. He brings absolute joy to my heart. I could not imagine life without him.
By introducing a woman to her baby on an ultrasound, a baby's chance at life doubles. Your tax-deductible donation of $5,000 will sponsor Preborn's entire network for 24 hours, helping to rescue 200 babies. To donate, use your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 saying baby, or go to preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/HOPE. Sponsored by Preborn.
There's a hearing today into an arrest that has generated days of protest in New York City of a former Columbia grad student accused of being a sympathizer with Hamas terrorists in last year's anti-Israel protests. His supporters call him a political prisoner. President Trump insists.
They're troublemakers. They're agitators. They don't love our country. We ought to get them the hell out. I think that guy, we ought to get him. I heard his statements, too. They were plenty bad.
Mahmoud Khalil's hearing in federal court could determine if the attempt by President Trump to deport him as an anti-Semitic and anti-American activist can move forward. Khalil is not charged with a crime and is legally in the U.S. However, he is threatened with having his green card revoked and being returned to Syria, his birth nation. President Trump has promised to crack down on student protesters, but Khalil's lawyers accuse the federal government of attacking their client to suppress free speech. Khalil has said he was a spokesman for protesters, not an organizer of the demonstration. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Now, we mentioned the economy and the stock market. Futures are rising ahead of an inflation report next hour on consumer prices last month, and if the trend of the annual rate of increase creeping up continued. Another setback for golf's biggest name. Tiger Woods is hurt again.
The 15-time major champion underwent what he called a minimally invasive Achilles tendon repair for a ruptured tendon, suffering the injury as he ramped up his training and practice at home. The doctor who performed the surgery said they expect a full recovery, though no timetable was provided. The injury means that Woods will undoubtedly miss the first major of the year, the Masters at Augusta National in April.
That's Fox's Joe Morgan. Woods hasn't played a tour event since last summer's British Open. In the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers won their 15th straight game, beating Brooklyn 109-104. It's the second time this season the Cavaliers with the league's best record of 115 in a row. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone. It's 25 degrees under mostly clear skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up. A recent strike by New York prison corrections officers has led to a backlog of inmates clogging city jails. For the 22 days corrections officers were called out on wildcat strikes, city jails held onto inmates who would otherwise have been moved to state prisons. That hold will continue until at least the end of the month. The New York Daily News reports Rikers Island is holding 344 prisoners awaiting upstate transfers. That puts the population at Rikers over 6,700 people, up 32% under Mayor Adams, and up from less than 3,500 just 4 years ago. The city approved a plan to close Rikers 8 years ago. It's now scheduled to shut down in August 2027. New York State has confirmed a resident living outside of New York City has tested positive for measles, marking the first case outside the metro area. This marks the third such case to be confirmed within the state. According to the New York State Department of Health, the infected patient is under 5 years of age and is a resident of Suffolk County. It is unknown if the child is vaccinated against measles. The CDC has been notified of the positive result, and the state health department is monitoring to see if anyone else was exposed to the illness when the child was seen at Cohen's Children's Medical Center Emergency Department between March 3rd and 6th. 5 people are lucky to avoid being seriously hurt after falling through ice in Greece. Authorities say the incident happened at Braddock Bay in the Monroe County community. The Coast Guard was called in to help out with the rescue, and all 5 individuals needed treatment for minor injuries. Officials say this should serve as a warning to everyone about the dangers of ice as temperatures continue to rise. The Premier of Ontario, Canada, is putting hold on his decision that imposes tariffs on electricity exports to the U.S. Yesterday, Premier Doug Ford announced a 25% surcharge for electricity it supplies to parts of Michigan, Minnesota, and New York. He said the suspension of the surcharge comes after U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick agreed to renewing trade talks. Ford added, "We have both agreed. Let cooler heads prevail." President Trump had announced a doubling of tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum in response to the electricity surcharge. Your WIBX news time is 7:07. Here is your forecast.
Colder weather has pushed in now this morning, but milder weather quickly going to bounce back by Friday. We're once again up near 60 degrees. Today, sun to clouds, 40. Some rain and snow showers around tonight. Little, if any, accumulating snow possible. Maybe up to a slushing inch in some spots, especially out across the North Country. Clouds, 47 tomorrow. Friday, partly sunny, milder, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
In sports, it is 25 degrees and 7:08. The Giants are upgrading their secondary. According to ESPN, the G-Men have signed safety Javon Holland to a 3-year deal worth $45.3 million. The deal could be worth up to $46.8 million and includes $30.3 million in guaranteed money. The Yankees dropped both of their exhibition games after splitting the squad on Tuesday. The Pinstripes were topped by the Orioles 6-2 and fell to Pittsburgh Pirates 9-1. New York is 8-9 and will continue the Grapefruit League play tomorrow when it visits Detroit Tigers in Lakeland. The Mets came up short after falling to the Houston Astros 7-4 in West Palm Beach. New York is 7-9 and visits St. Louis Cardinals this afternoon in Jupiter. And the Syracuse University men's basketball team will get to play at least one more game after advancing to the ACC tournament. J.J. Starling led the Orange with 27 points as a squad beat the Florida State Seminoles 66-62 at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina last night. Eddie Lampkin also added 14 points for Syracuse, who will take on the SMU Mustangs tonight. Tip-off for that contest is set for 9:30 p.m. That's sports. I'm Megan for WIBX.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
Near the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Fix all your fender benders, small or big. Call Malgeri's Auto Body before you call your insurance company. Let Malgeri's take care of everything from start to finish. They work with all major providers and use factory paint and parts, plus laser measuring to make your vehicle new again. It's 100% guaranteed, and Malgeri's always details your car before they return it. Malgeri's Auto Body, now located at 1216 Bleecker Street, Utica. Call 315-735-4488, keeping you on the road since 1928.
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free? TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your maximum refund. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and student loan interest. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
It's Brian Kilmeade.
Here's the deal on J.D. Vance. 9 things that you're not going to like about him. Not even a moment to say, hey, now your ticket's formed. It's going to be a great 4 months. Let's have at it in a civil way. That would have been a normal thing to do. Is his staff missing the moment? Are they that bad? Do they think the only way to win is to create tension, make the other guys look unelectable still?
Brian Kilmeade. Weekday mornings at 9 on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Friday morning we'll be live at Tony's Pizzeria in Washington Mills. Andrew Dominio's little send-off. And then along came Andrew. It'll be free breakfast for everybody at Tony's in Washington Mills, the home, except for Davey. The home of the Italian, that grand Italian buffet from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. every single day. Just delicious food you can take home. And Davey, and I've heard reports from Davey and Stefan over the course of the last couple of days. They both were there. On the line right now is Mayor Galimi, Mike Galimi. And we're just going to get before we got a chance to squeeze him in here. And we're going to speak with Katie Aiello coming up in about 20 minutes. Mayor, good morning. You had quite a day yesterday.
I did. I know we don't have a lot of time. The Munson Public Forum went really well yesterday. Had good attendance. That was from 6 to 8. But just before that, when I was on the way to Munson to do that public forum and field questions in person with the public about the budget and more, I did receive that email from Councilman Burmaster and Councilperson Aiello. I was able to skim the letter, but I'll be parsing through that this morning, I guess.
All right. So you don't know what is in these amendments that she's put forward.
So here's the thing. I skimmed it. It's 27 pages. I did go through the text to see if there was anything they were asking. They said something about a certified letter. The reality is this, Bill. We need to stop playing games. The council people were elected and took an oath of office to follow the charter, uphold the charter. So did I. I've gone above and beyond at this point, providing myself, the department heads, the budget on time, getting everything. The council actions are by vote. What's in that letter I'm going to go through, but it's actually not even officially been heard by the council until tonight when they present it. The council needs to follow the chartered budget process. They made the decision not to waive the tax cap. Okay, well, the council now has to get together, even if the votes are just majority against the other four, which I doubt it because they do want to still work together. They have to take action because the mayor works with the common council. Right now I have a letter from 2 independent council people. This isn't like some weird shadow government. Like, pass the amendments, get them to my desk. I'll look at them as soon as possible. And that's how, quote, certified things go back and forth. I don't even understand what they want with a certified letter. Am I supposed to put that in the mail? This is a game, and it's disgusting.
By the way, if
And
you
they're
send
not
us,
even-
if you send a
they're not even doing the
certified,
bare minimum.
if you send a certified letter, you should usually it's a negative letter because usually that's annoying because you got to have somebody there to sign it in order to get it. It's a pain in the neck.
It's all theater.
Yeah.
It's all theater.
Yeah.
We have a charter that outlines a budget process that, by the way, whether it's been difficult budgets or not over the last 100 years, has been functioning in Utica. This is the first time the council is actively saying, let's ignore the actual charter and not do this. Here's the thing. They waited till the last minute. This is the council. I was a council president for a long time. When the budget's in the council's hands, they need to take some action. They've taken no action. None. And in order for me to legally work with them, as an elected within the scope of city government, they have to vote because that council represents all the districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Do you? Is there a regularly scheduled meeting today? Is that correct?
I believe it's regularly scheduled. I do know it's a actual meeting of the council because it's the first time they're going to see the amendments presented by whatever's in this letter. I also don't know if there's other amendments coming from other council members because it's their council.
Right.
I'm no longer on the council. That's the thing.
Okay,
and they're trying to completely ignore the budget process right now.
At this point, the opportunity to go over to bypass the tax cap has passed. That is official.
The other council meetings, some of the council members in Corporation Council and Judge kept talking about it, and they seem to think it's like today now, because as long as we get it in the paper and I have 5 days, but that's moot. They've committed to not leaving that at this point, right? And because they're committing not to, they need to come up with an amendment package that by majority vote they approve because it's their action that takes that $2.5 million out of the budget.
Yeah.
They can't just throw this on my desk. There's a chartered budget process. I'm not, quote, falling back on that. It's like how government functions. They just want to ignore it.
So everything is up in the air. Whether or not you can, they may be presenting legitimate amendments that would take that money responsibly out of the budget.
Correct. But until they do that, I legitimately don't have anything to work with. They have to do the bare minimum. Right now, they haven't even done that. They haven't even presented amendments on the floor to the legislative body elected by the people in Utica. That's the bare minimum.
And one would hope that happens today.
Well, I'm assuming it will because of what is in that letter.
All right.
But then they have to talk about it amongst themselves and actually take action.
Yeah. All right.
They're the representatives of the people.
You know what you got to do is to put a 25% tariff on Katie Aiello's street. That seems to be working. This tariff thing seems to be working, and then you pull it back at the last minute, and everybody goes kumbaya. Maybe that'll do the trick.
What's crazy is one of them actually proposed on the radio. I can't remember if it was your show or not. A commuter tax, which is lunacy.
I did recall that. All right, Mayor. Let's try to talk tomorrow. Maybe this will be a big day tomorrow.
Maybe. I hope they actually do the bare minimum today.
Okay.
Get together as a council and figure out what amendment package they're going to move forward with, because they're the ones who decided not to waive the tax cap. I presented a responsible budget that was balanced and also balanced use of fund balance with a tax raise. I know it's a tax raise, but I did what I was supposed to do and went above and beyond to provide them my department heads. It's time for them to actually sit in a room and work together as they were elected to do.
Fair enough. Mayor, we appreciate it. Thank you for the update this morning.
Have a great day, Bill.
Right,
Thank you.
Do the same. Mayor Mike Galimi, I want to switch gears completely. And what do you do when you're in the maybe in your backyard, somewhere you come upon an animal that has been injured? Can you take that animal in? Can you begin to mend that animal back to good? Should you call someone? What do you do? Turns out there is an option in New York State right now. Kimberly DeFisher is on the line right now. Good morning, Kimberly. Thanks for coming on. Hey.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
There should be a hotline to solve political problems within Common Council and mayoral chambers, right?
Yeah, I couldn't really speak. I couldn't really speak to that very much, but there should be.
So you pushed. Tell me, you pushed for this is your baby, if you will.
It is. So this has absolutely been my passion project that I have spent a just tireless amount of time on the last few months because I know it is a much needed resource in our area, really in all of upstate New York.
Yeah. It's a new wildlife hotline, which can you call? So you only call if there is an injured animal? Explain what the hotline does.
Yeah, absolutely. So I created something through my nonprofit organization, which is called Arctic Fox Daily Wildlife Rescue, something called Finger Lakes Wildlife Hotline. What it is one central number that people call into, and it's going to provide a more efficient way to connect finders of injured and orphaned wildlife with the right licensed wildlife rehabber. So let's say you stumble upon a baby animal that clearly has no parent nearby. If you see an animal on the side of the road that was hit by a car, but it's clearly still alive, who do you call? A wildlife rehabber is who you have to get in contact with.
Right. I don't think I would know who to call. Right. You might call the police. Right. But
right?
What is the hotline number? What is the number that people would call?
Yeah. So the phone number is 585-880-0168. And the problem when people try to reach out to rehabbers, to be truthful, is that there's a lot of frustration involved for members of the public usually because they often have to call multiple rehabbers until they get to the right one for the species that they need help with. Not everybody works with every species. So our hope here is that this will definitely not only lessen that frustration for members of the public and get animals help faster, but also, if you think about it, we really want these volunteer rehabbers to be able to spend more time caring for animals instead of spending so much time answering and transferring calls and messages for species that they don't even work with.
Yeah, and time is of the essence, especially when in some cases.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, probably in most cases.
Yeah, there's most cases, exactly. Most cases, this animal is going to be distressed. If it's an orphan animal, of course, you're working with a time crunch with how long has it been without mom? How dehydrated is it? Same thing. There's a lot of adult injuries that even if it's something that could be kind of basic, could get really serious and really detrimental really quick. And a lot of times people just have to spend a ton of time, hours, sometimes days, finding the right help because, again, not every rehabber works with every species.
Mm-hmm. So in our backyard, we had a deer, a young deer, and a broken leg.
Oh.
So it was hobbling around on three legs, and we didn't know what to do. So we looked it up, and it seemed the right thing to do was just let it go. Don't try to do anything with it. Chances are the deer would not survive because there would be another animal to be able to catch up to it and probably kill the deer. This would be an example where you might be able to call and at least get somebody on the phone to say, here's the proper protocol.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example, especially because you're talking about a fawn, not a big adult deer.
Yeah.
There are honestly going to be some cases where humane euthanasia might be the best option, or there might be some cases where an injury could be mild enough that it would cause more stress and probably end up with a worse result if you were to try and capture them versus letting them kind of heal and compensate. But with your exact example, yes, we have a deer rehabber connected to our hotline. And there's actually not many deer rehabbers in New York State. So I'm very excited that we do have one connected. And if it was a fawn, she would go through the steps with you. She'd figure out how young it is. We'd figure out how bad the injury is. And then she could advise you, based on her years of experience rehabbing deer, what the best option is. Because it's not always, oh, you have to leave this animal there. If it's young enough and somebody can get their hands on it, there is a good chance you could have set that leg. Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. In the Finger Lakes Wildlife Hotline, you mentioned that there are people who can take on deer. Are there any animals that if a person comes across in distress, is there a certain species that the Wildlife Hotline doesn't serve?
So right now, the only ones that come to mind that we don't have connected to our hotline are the rabies vector species in New York State. So this is a good educational point in itself. This doesn't mean animals that can get rabies, because almost every mammal can theoretically get rabies. It's rabies vectors in New York, which are listed as three things: skunks, bats, or raccoons. Again, like deer, we have a major lack of RVS, it's called licensed rehabbers in the state. So unfortunately, we do not have one directly connected to our hotline, but we do have a blurb to help people, which directs them to the exact DEC website to go to that will list all the rabies vector licensed rehabbers in the state.
Yeah, it's good because I hate to say it, if you feel like you've come across a rabid animal, who do you call? You probably call the police and hope that they know where to go. In this case, you'd have at least this hotline to call. Again, I want to make sure we have that phone number, and we'll post. Is it already posted, the story? It's 885, sorry.
Sorry, 585.
585, yes.
585-880-0168. And like you were just saying, with a lot of people do assume they have to call the 911 operator, call the police, even call the DEC. But actually, you almost always, 99% of the time, it is a wildlife rehabber you want to get in contact with. The police could potentially come out and dispatch an animal if needed, same with the DEC. But we as wildlife rehabbers are actually kind of the DEC's front line for wildlife distress calls. That's what we're licensed to do through the DEC. So oftentimes also, a lot of people don't recognize what the symptoms of a neurological virus like rabies really are. A lot of times, it might be something as simple as head trauma. And this is why this hotline is going to be great, because you really need to talk to an expert in that species before making any assumptions or before panicking hardcore,
Megan, final question.
Yeah, Kim, thank you so much. We could talk forever about this because we are both animal lovers here, but how can people support you, your work, and this new hotline?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, all of us rehabbers who are volunteers are actually funding this out of our own pocket, and we would love to see this resource so deeply embraced by the community that it is funded by public support. So if they go to our website, fingerlakeswildlifehotline.org, there's a very simple donate button you can see. Even a few dollars is really helpful just to help us offset the cost of this monthly service that we have.
All right.
Great. Thank you so much, Kim.
585, so Rochester area, 585-880-0168.
That's right.
Okay.
And we have rehabbers already over 8 counties. Sometimes wildlife travels hours to get to the right rehabber. So we expect to continue to grow that all over upstate New York.
All right, Kimberly, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Nice job.
Nice. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day. It is 7:28, and time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the one and only Rosenthal Report. Unfortunately, Jeremy, Andrew's no longer with us and can't do all of the human sound effects that he would add to your...
The Rosenthal Report.
Oh, now you got a singer in.
It was a little off key, but I'll work on it. I'll workshop it.
Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning.
That was wonderful. I get to follow people who help animals.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, did they know that somebody as saintly as a lawyer was coming on next? Would they have agreed to do that?
Well, and the question is, are you a lawyer who's a deer hunter? Big up here in upstate New York. So, kind of wonder.
Well, I've seen the movie The Deer Hunter. That's not what you're talking about. No, I'm not. I have inside soft lawyer hands. The hardest thing these things have ever touched are a keyboard.
And you're a defense attorney, so you're fighting for the people. Let's throw
That's right.
3 topics. This first one is just a mind blower, but it is really, I think, a problem we have definitely here and probably across the country, and it's a mental illness issue. Topic one, prosecutors say a man charged with threatening to shoot up a synagogue in New York City believed that he was actually reincarnated as Hitler. Yeah.
Okay. Very tragic story. Very, I mean, look, and kind of a story of I would hate to call it triumph, but I mean, look, we got a guy who's posting things on X. Yeah. He's posting these anti-Semitic threats that he's going to come and shoot up a synagogue in New York City. And in the 21st century, the authorities are going to listen to that online. Yeah. And even if you have no followers, even if you think you're in your own little echo chamber, somebody's listening to these things. There are algorithms for these things. I've seen them in some of my cases, where you think that you're messaging a handful of friends and you didn't know that an FBI agent or somebody like that was listening, and they are. Yeah. So they're able to track this guy from Utah to New York. They get him before he gets anywhere near the synagogue. Now, he's not armed when they get there, so we don't know if this guy really thought this thing through or planned it through. I mean, he's not able to keep it together enough not to post his intentions on X like it's kind of one of those James Bond villain, ultimate screw ups, right? Like, we're going to tell you all of our plans, and then now you're going to ruin them. Okay, so this guy was. There's obviously a screw loose. There's obviously something wrong. He was discharged from the military for psychological reasons. So yes, you're correct. It is both a psychological case, a mental health case. As it is a 21st century, how do you track somebody like this case? Yeah. So there's a lot of different issues here.
And I think we see more and more of this mental health stuff, and especially the city the size of New York, where a lot of these crimes that are going on are, when you trace them back, it goes back to mental health. Topic 2, 3 men charged with selling U.S. Army secrets to China. I think we have very little tolerance for people who actually do this, but hey, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. What's this one?
These are sort of low-level Army officers and low-level folks that are not taking. I mean, like, for me and you, like $10,000 or $15,000. I mean, I don't know about you. I lose that in the backseat of the cab. On the way to the airport, right? I mean, I can take my sofa and find that. They're not getting paid a whole lot of money, and the systems that they're sort of giving secrets to are the secrets were involving a rocket system called HIMARS, HIMARS, and I say that so you can nerd out on it on YouTube for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. The Chinese just needed to watch YouTube. I can tell you how these things can go and what their range is and what their effectiveness is. We gave these to the Ukrainians. But at some level, we do have some secrets in there, and for $10,000 or $15,000, the Chinese can coerce our soldiers to give it to them. That's kind of the scary part to me, is that they're targeting these low-level Army folks. Maybe they're vulnerable, but you really put yourself in a position to be the guy that Shaq is dunking on in the Sports Illustrated cover. I mean, you're just going to get slam dunked here by the Justice Department. This is easy pickings for them.
And does it matter if what you're trying to sell to the Chinese isn't maybe top secret, or the more top secret, the bigger the penalty? Does any of that matter?
Of course, absolutely, it would. Yeah, okay. And these guys only had such clearance, right? That there's only so much clearance. Now, so I mean, and again, they had more clearance than you and I. Right. So what they had was not publicly available and was certainly not intended for the Chinese to be able to see. Yeah. Okay. That's the linchpin. But if you are working at the Pentagon, you better believe that you're going to be in a lot worse trouble than these guys are.
All right. Topic 3. This is a doozy. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of Draggieland organizers to block the recent decision by the Board of Regents in Texas, I believe, banning drag performances. What do we know?
Yes. At Texas A&M University in 2020, they started a show called Draggieland, a drag show that goes on their public theater stage. the same stage that Beto O'Rourke goes on, the same stage that Ben Shapiro goes on, the same stage where they had to play Chicago, which if you're into fun and singing and dancing, great line from that play, by the way. Richard Gere from the movie said, I didn't ask you if you were innocent or guilty or any of these things, if she was an orphan. I asked if you had $5,000. The best criminal defense line ever. That's my life.
I love it.
But the university basically said, probably because they're afraid of losing some type of federal funding from the administration, they said, we're banning this drag show going forward. And the issue is this legally obscenity or is it not? Have you seen the People versus Larry Flint? It's maybe 15 or 20 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of gratuitous nudity. I just warn you, if anybody's listening, if that type of things offends you, don't watch that movie. But it's got Ed Norton in it. I think Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, it's a great free speech movie. It's really Yeah,
and the issue is there are certain types of speech that are protected, and there are certain that is not. A true threat is not protected speech. A yelling fire in a theater is not protected speech.
Right.
And obscenity, like child pornography, is not protected. And that's the question is, does a drag show rise to that level of obscenity? And that's what this fight's going to be about. But it's an interesting First Amendment one. And anytime Aggies are suing other Aggies, I love it. So there's that.
Well, I got to tell you, it becomes complicated based on some things that are accepted, i.e., the movie Tootsie, or what was that movie with
Some Like It Hot or something?
There are several movies out there that are.
Yeah. Well, drag has been a performance that has been around for centuries.
Been around for a little while, so it's going to be very interesting to see. But we must protect the children. We must protect the children. Jeremy, as always, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Have a great one.
You do the same. Jeremy Rosenthal with the Rosenthal Report.
Rosenthal.
Sorry. Not as impressive. Not as impressive. All right. Thank you, man.
It is every bit as delightful.
We'll workshop it.
Have a great morning.
You have a wonderful morning and a great week. Thanks so much. All right. Coming up, we'll do Hobica's free money question of the day. Katie Aiello is coming up. We've just heard from the mayor. She sent us some information. The amendments that they say will reduce that tax increase significantly are now out. We'll speak with her, but first, $200 on the line. Hobica's free money question of the day. Davey, you're looking for caller number what this morning?
6.
6 caller. 6 caller right now. Chance to win 315-736-0186. Chance to win from Hobica and WIBX.
Looking for an insurance agency that treats you like family? Look no further than WB Payne Insurance, a family-owned and operated agency serving the community for over 65 years. At WB Payne Insurance, they understand that family comes first, and they're here to protect what matters most to you. Whether it's your home, your car, or your business, they've got you covered. WB Payne Insurance. Learn more or get a quote today by visiting WBPayneco.com. WB Payne Insurance, protecting your family like it's their own, with smart solutions to save you money.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:39. I'm Megan Stone. It is 25 degrees and it is currently sunny outside. Here's your news update. Mayor Eric Adams appears to be getting agitated at former Governor Andrew Cuomo for portraying the city as being unsafe and in crisis. Adams says the city is not in crisis and says hearing that is insulting to police officers who have done their jobs. The mayor points to data that shows crime has been dropping significantly in the city and subway system in recent months. Since announcing his run for mayor against Adams, Cuomo has said the city feels out of control and then proposed hiring 5,000 more NYPD officers. A new poll shows most New Yorkers are in support of congestion pricing. The Siena College poll shows 42% of Big Apple residents want it to stay, while 35% support President Trump's efforts to stop it. President Trump has set a March 21st deadline for New York to turn off the cameras and stop congestion pricing. Governor Kathy Hochul remains adamant that congestion pricing is working and says Trump will have to give her $15 billion to invest in a subway system if congestion pricing were to be halted. Meanwhile, U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the deadline stays or it'll go to court. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is cutting more than $1 billion in funding for local food banks and schools. The agency is ending 2 programs that help state, tribal, and territorial government food purchasing. This comes as the Trump administration works to cut the size of the federal government. That includes cutting some programs that Trump critics say are actually mandated by law, and a couple of senators are trying to get fentanyl testing in hospitals. Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California and Republican Senator Jim Banks of Indiana have reintroduced a bill that would include fentanyl in standard tests in hospital emergency rooms across the U.S. Right now, hospitals have standard tests for a handful of other drugs, including marijuana and cocaine, but not fentanyl. There are some states that mandate it. Your WIBX news time is 7:41. Here is your forecast.
Colder weather has pushed in now this morning, but milder weather quickly going to bounce back by Friday. We're once again up near 60 degrees. Today, sun to clouds, 40. Some rain and snow showers around tonight. Little, if any, accumulating snow possible. Maybe up to a slushy inch in some spots, especially out across the North Country. Clouds, 47 tomorrow. Friday, partly sunny, milder, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's 25 degrees and under sunny skies. Your WIBX news time is 7:42.
All right, it's time for us to do, and you can do the thing there, Davey. Rick is standing by right now in Utica for a chance to win Habaika's free money question of the day. Rick, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
All right.
How you doing?
Doing well. We hope you have a shot. We know you have a shot. We hope you win. Habaika's money. It's from Joseph and Andrew Habaika. The Habaika Law Firm at 315-724-1600 is the number. And here is your question. Davey, you ready? Megan, you're ready? Here we go. And, of course, Rick, you're ready. Here's your question.
I'm ready.
Wee Willie Keeler was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in what year? Ready, go.
62.
Was it 1962? Maybe only I pay any attention to this for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. But he was a member of the original 25 inductees in 1939 when the Baseball Hall of Fame opened. So
he was original.
We're going to give you I got a couple things for you, to be honest. A couple of good things. It includes the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card that is yours. Good at Aquavino or Babes, Taylor and the Cook, 72, any of those, or at the Odd in the Adirondack Bank Center in Nexus. And we'll give you 4 tickets to the Big East Camping and Outdoor Sports Show, which is coming to Accelerate Sports in Whitesboro, the biggest and best outdoor industry show. And it is coming up the 22nd through the 23rd next weekend for you to check out. All right? Stand by.
Good, thank you.
And Davey's going to hook you up, all right? Nice job, Rick.
All right, go Hartford Whalers.
Okay, go Whalers. Okay.
R.I.P.
All right, stand by. I'm going to go directly, and give me a time at the top if you can. I'm going to go directly with Katie Aiello, who is in studio right now. Katie, good morning. And you're all, and you've sent me some stuff. Tell me what you sent me. I haven't had a chance to go over it.
For the proposal?
Yes.
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 So, yesterday we wrote a letter to Mayor Galimi saying, here are all the amendments.
How many are there? You said there's like 20?
There's probably about, it's confusing because when we do the salary freezes, it's going to be individual ones. So it'll looks like 60, but the whole idea is about a little under 40.
Yeah. All right.
And it's the Republicans, the Democrats, we all have different ones, and said, our point is, here are all the options. And let us know what the path to 2% looks like. We're hoping he can reply by Friday. Because the big thing here is, there is 4
You don't plan to vote on anything today's meeting?
No. If anything, today we're just going to introduce these into committee so we can talk about them later.
Okay.
But
what is your deadline?
March 20th.
Okay.
So our next council meeting, the one already scheduled, is March 19th.
Okay.
So... And so this just highlights all of that, and it's it's broken down into the 3 categories: the added revenue, reducing expenses, and the reallocating other city funds.
How much added revenue do you feel that you're projecting added revenue?
I went super modest with that, and with the sales tax, I'm asking. I know right now they have a 0% growth. I'm asking just go for 1%, which would be $200,000. Historically, I don't expect them to take me up on my revenue requests, but thankfully there's $3.9 million other here to go with.
Anyone lose their job out of this?
Nope, no jobs loss. And my big thing is, so with this CHIPS money, that's what we use for paving. Every year we get the $2.5 million. We would put it with the $2.5 million for bonding to pave the roads to meet that $5 million requirement. Now, last year we did the 14% tax raise. And then after that budget passed, we heard from the state we're getting the extra $1.1 million in CHIPS, the extra $1.9 million in the state aid. So this came to about $3 million extra dollars, which is also why I'm really concerned. We were told the budget was balanced last year, and now we got a $3 million from the state. Now he wants another $3 million more from taxpayers. So, but with that, I'm asking, when you look at this budget, it's when we reallocate the city funds options, I'm saying don't pave another extra $1.1 million in streets. I'm saying use those expenses in the budget. So while this looks like we have to come down, I think it's about $2.7 million in cuts. Technically, if he just reallocates those city funds, we could that's $2 million off the taxpayers, but we still get to keep that because those are being covered by CHIPS now or CDBG.
So one of the areas that you're talking about is a salary freeze. So you want to do that for what, 6 months?
6 months, and that would everybody can get their raise come October 1st. But if these are hard times, unfortunately, I think that's going to hit everybody. And my big thing with this budget is
how much does that save?
This one was first line on here. It's about $80,000. So it's small, but it adds up across the board, and that's not counting.
So it's it sounds more symbolic than anything else.
I think it's symbolic, but it's also just the reality of it. And again, these are cuts he could do, and that's not counting the elected official salary raises. Mm-hmm. Those are also cut from this. So my big thing is, he proposed a budget that his own party and people don't even support. Now, one person has come out and said, yes, I can stand behind this. And, the time to get our support was also while he was working on the budget. It shouldn't be a surprise he doesn't have 5 votes. So now, the goal is...
Isn't he really kind of waiting, though, for you guys? I mean, the first step would be to override the tax cap. Mm-hmm. And he did have Republican votes for that.
Right, but not 6.
And you're now waiting for these amendments in order. How do you bring it down? And that was one of the criticisms that Republicans had, is that you decided not to override the tax cap, but you didn't back up your reasoning.
Right. We were using it as leverage, for sure. I'll be transparent in that. That was the point the whole time.
Okay.
And because last year we did it the other way and it didn't work. But throughout this, it's, when it was Mayor Palmieri, and that's all I'm bringing that up because that's all I can compare it to. We were a part of the process early on. We were in conversations year round, and those relationships aren't there anymore.
Well, he made it very easy, though, didn't he? There was never a tax increase.
There were those two. And, we pushed them at the end. We were fighting for at least 1%, something to get it up there. And that wasn't the case. But now it's, those relationships aren't there. And I think that's not just aside from the budget. That's something the mayor also needs to work on in this coming year of how do we get there? Because it's not, can't just come around for budget season and now you want something from us.
What's your largest amendment that will save the most that you feel will be most appealing to Mayor Galimi?
I'm hoping, they brought up the fact that CDBG, that was something the Republicans proposed. And it wasn't really clear what their plan was, but I put in here, I was also thinking of utilizing those funds, and it could easily be used to supplement our youth bureau count line. That's about $700,000. And the same way that we were able to meet those demographics for Utica Safe Schools, we can also do it for CDBG. And again, I'm not saying pave less. I'm saying just pave the amount we need to and use these extra funds for the city. Will he go for it? That's on his administration to do the work. But then even with the CHIPS money, I like these proposals for reallocating the city funds because it means he still gets his budget, but now he only has to come down another $700,000 in expenses. That's out of a $93 million budget.
Yeah. Do you find it ironic? I think it is interesting to look at that how opposite this is of national politics, because Democrats normally are fighting to raise money, to increase taxes, and Republicans traditionally are fighting to no tax increase. Here, the Republicans are looking for a tax increase 2 years in a row, and it's the Democrats that are fighting.
Yeah, I'm laughing at it. And that's where I keep hearing them say that we're doing party politics. Like, this is very opposite. If anything, I was one fighting for more police officers at the end of December meeting.
But
to keep the
it
sunset.
is party politics. You have Democrats. Well, it may not be national party politics, but you have the Democrats.
But we are on opposite.
You're on opposite sides. So I would say this is probably party. That's a fair assessment.
It's part of that.
Yeah, and you just said that he hasn't had the relationships,
right?
So that would mean he's not.
Yep.
He is not paving a strong relationship with Democrats. So Democrats are standing against the Republican mayor. I'd call that party politics.
There's a part of that. Yeah, you have to be good at politics, and that's not even trying to screw. We're not trying to screw anybody with this budget. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We firmly believe that 25% in 2 years is wrong. Everybody else's expenses throughout New York State are going up. Why is Utica the only one reaching for taxes like this? Again, the
no incremental tax increase for over 10 years.
But he said he balanced the budget last year,
right.
And then he got another $3 million from the state, and now he wants another $3 million from taxpayers. Yeah. Every time a mandated expense goes up, are we just going to keep raising taxes? And then I'm confused because he's saying he was never going to actually do the 9.8%. He was going to be fine with 6% or something. Put out a budget you believe in.
Well, the Comptroller said maybe 3 to 4% was where he would have seen it falling on this program. He said that.
But we're gambling with $1 million of taxpayer money, so it's just not clear to me.
All right.
And
so going forward, this you will introduce these tonight to the council, so everybody will get them tonight. Yep. They'll have what comes Friday. You said
we put out another meeting just in case the mayor is going to work with us and reply to us by Friday of what amendments he would like. We're willing to prioritize the ones he wants. And that's the thing. You can't do all 4 million. You could, but this would be at a negative tax increase. We would have a decrease at that point. And some of them contradict each other. So we're just asking him to take the lead of what he does like. So if that's the case, we can start passing them early enough. So then we can actually vote the budget and know the exact amount on Wednesday.
And your proposals have in no way have the mayor dipping into the fund balance.
Well, the mayor put in his fund balance draw as it is, but so we're not going further into the fund
obviously,
balance.
A strong fund balance means a strong credit rating. Yep. It's very important for the economics of everything. All right. Anything else you want to add here?
That's just, it's budget
Chances
season,
are on the 19th, you vote on this, and this is all put to bed.
Yes, ideally. And these are reasonable amendments, and we're asking everybody to take a look at them.
Okay.
So they're all published. Thank you.
All right, Katie, 2 days in a row.
I know. Look at us.
I don't know what's going on. Crazy. Thank you. Quick break, and we'll come right back here. By the way, I do want to, Richard this morning, very upset over the fact that I said it was going to be 45 today. Why do you keep exaggerating? He says, you constantly exaggerate what the temperature is going to be. The reality is I misspoke. It's going to be 39 today, although I'll bet you somewhere it'll be a little warmer than 39. How about tomorrow? It's going to be 88 degrees, Richard. Probably not.
80 degrees, yeah.
Quick break at WIBX.
At Steve Ponte Chevy in Herkimer, we'd like to thank our first responders, active military, and veterans,
as well as healthcare employees and education employees.
Not only is Chevrolet offering $500 in savings towards the purchase of your new Chevy, but Steve Ponte Chevy is going to match that with an additional $500 for a total of $1,000 in savings as our thank you to you.
So together, let's drive and see why our customers always say it's so easy to do business with Steve Ponte Chevy on Route 28 in Herkimer.
Customer must qualify for educator, military, veterans, first responder, and healthcare discount. Must take delivery by March 31st, 2025. See salesperson for details.
Are you concerned about age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? If you're over 50, then you should be. AMD impacts as many as 1 in 10 Americans over 50. Now, protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements not only protect your eyes, but help improve night vision, as well as helping to relieve eye fatigue caused by digital devices. Enjoy healthy vision with New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
There's not an occasion when you hear a statistic on the number of abortions occurring annually that your mind doesn't also think, how many babies' lives could have been saved? Preborn's network of clinics fights every day to save more babies. The number they've done so far in terms of saving is impressive over the last 2 decades. Over 300,000 unborn children brought into this world and saved. Preborn accomplishes this by introducing a mother to her child on ultrasound. When that happens, a baby's chance at life doubles. And that's not all. Preborn showers mothers and babies with assistance for up to 2 years. But they need your donations. One ultrasound is just $28, and $140 will help to rescue 5 babies. But any amount will help, and all your gifts to Preborn are tax deductible. To donate securely, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/HOPE. Sponsored by Preborn.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Good God. It's an Andrew moment right there. By the way, Friday morning we will be broadcasting live from Tony's in Washington Mills. It's a free breakfast. You come, you get free breakfast. And Andrew Dominio, it'll be a little send-off for him. And celebrating the Tony's Pizzeria in Washington Mills buffet, that grand Italian buffet from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. They do dinner and lunch now. All right, responding to councilperson Katie Aiello is the Comptroller in Utica, Bill Morehouse. William, good morning.
Hey, I was going to come on and just say we are all now dumber for having listened. I'm not going to say that. Here's the situation. Yesterday at ENA, I asked Katie, look, the mayor's at 9.7, you're at 2%. Can you work with the mayor? She says yes. And I said, okay, if you work together and get it down to 4%, you still have to override the tax limit. She said absolutely not. Well, I'm sorry, that's not working with the mayor. You know, if you get it down to 4%, Bill, you still have to override the tax limit. That's the responsible thing to do. They're not being responsible. This is a fiscally smart budget. Taxes, are going to go up because retirement's going up, health insurance going up, and our revenues are not going up, and our main source of revenue is the people. Can we get this down to 4 or 5%? Yes, but you still have to, and that'll be a tight budget, but you still have to override the tax cap.
Here's a question,
they're not being
though.
Responsible. They're not willing to work with the mayor.
Here's a question. I mean, you're saying this. Have you seen her amendments? The amendments that they put forth?
I have seen them. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And do you think they're? What's your opinion?
I mean, some of them are feasible. And some of them are just silly, stupid, actually. But you have to work with the mayor. You get it down to even 3%. You still have to override.
You still got to override.
She says she's willing to work with the mayor, but then she says we're not willing to override the tax cap. Well, that's not working with the mayor.
Okay.
So she's not willing to work with the mayor. She's blowing smoke. She's getting her name out there. She needs to get something off the residency thing because who knows where she lives. And we need to move forward.
That ship has probably sailed out of the harbor, but
that's good. The ship sailed. Katie O'Ella needs to work with the mayor. Needs to work with the mayor. Otherwise, if you don't, Bill, no matter what amendments they do, if it's over 2%, this thing goes back to the mayor's original budget, 9.7. ENA will pass it through, and does that do her constituents any good?
Right.
I don't think so. So, we need to work together. We can get this and keep it a good budget at 4 or 5%, and that's what we need to do.
All right.
The Democrats are not willing. My party's not willing to do that, and it's unfortunate.
All right. Very interesting. Do you find it ironic, though, that the Democrats are asking for no tax increase and it's the Republicans asking for the tax increase? I find that just a little ironic considering the national the national look.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't go with national.
These are local politics.
I think that, yeah, right. This is more about being against the mayor rather than caring about a tax increase.
Yeah,
it really is, and it's a lot of blowing smoke. But
all right.
You need to work together. You need to do a fiscally sound budget, and you need to move forward. That means you need to be responsible and override the sales tax,
all right,
the property tax cap.
Comptroller Bill Morehouse, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. Thanks. Well, there you go. That's the word from the Comptroller. We'll get into a little more of this coming up next hour. News is next.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
More death, more destruction. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In Ukraine, hours after that country's leaders in talks in Saudi Arabia agreed to a U.S. brokered plan for a ceasefire. Russian attacks killed 5 Ukrainian civilians.
The Ukrainian military says Russia launched 3 missiles and 133 drones in an overnight attack, the vast majority of them reportedly intercepted. This as the United States prepares to take Ukraine's ceasefire offer to Russia, a 30-day pause in hostilities. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the ball is in Moscow's court.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, and Rubio just said he'll make contact with Russia today. New U.S. tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports went into effect this morning, with President Trump telling a business leader round table.
That's a lot of money. But the biggest win is if they move into our country and produce jobs. That's a bigger win than the tariffs themselves.
He insists tariffs will lead companies to manufacture more products in the U.S., but there are retaliatory tariffs just announced this morning. The European Union, $26 billion worth of American exports. Canada has also announced tariffs on about $30 billion of U.S. goods. President Trump is taking another step toward his goal of eliminating the Department of Education, ordering half its workforce be cut. Secretary Linda McMahon tells Fox.
We're not taking away education. The president never said that. He's taken the bureaucracy out of education so that more money flows to the states. Better education is closest to the kids.
Democrats warn getting rid of the department, which they could block in Congress, will affect school programs and students. Last night in the House,
on this vote, the yeas are 217. The
approving a bill to fund the government before a Friday deadline. It would trigger a shutdown, but only one Democrat was among the yeas. The rest opposed the plan, saying there are cuts to programs. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox.
It's shameful what happened on the Democrat side. They engaged in a misinformation campaign.
But a compromise looms in the Senate where in order to pass the bill, Republicans will need some Democrat support. America's listening to Fox News.
There's not an occasion when you hear a statistic on the number of abortions occurring annually that your mind doesn't also think, how many babies' lives could have been saved? Preborn's network of clinics fights every day to save more babies. The number they've done so far in terms of saving is impressive over the last 2 decades. Over 300,000 unborn children brought into this world and saved. Preborn accomplishes this by introducing a mother to her child on ultrasound. When that happens, a baby's chance at life doubles. And that's not all. Preborn showers mothers and babies with assistance for up to 2 years. But they need your donations. One ultrasound is just $28, and $140 will help to rescue 5 babies. But any amount will help, and all your gifts to Preborn are tax deductible. To donate securely, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/HOPE. Sponsored by Preborn.
The investigation is far from over into January's mid-air collision that killed 67 people near Washington when an Army helicopter crashed into an American Airlines regional jet that was about to land. But the NTSB wants action taken now to prevent more disasters.
The National Transportation Safety Board identifying a number of close proximity events near Reagan National Airport between October of 2021 through 2024.
There were 15,214 occurrences or close proximity events between commercial airplanes and helicopters.
Chair Jennifer Hamady noting some came as close as 75 feet from each other during landings.
They pose an intolerable risk to aviation safety.
recommending the FAA permanently prohibit some helicopter operations nearby when certain runways are being used at the commercial airport and designate an alternative helicopter route. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Right after that recommendation, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the FAA will maintain restrictions in place on helicopters near Reagan. Something else will take flight later today.
Elon Musk's SpaceX is planning tonight to launch one of its Falcon 9 rockets and Dragon capsules on contract for NASA's Crew 10 transport flight to the International Space Station. This will be the crew taking over residence aboard the space station, clearing the way for a different Dragon capsule docked at the station since September to return to Earth early next week. That flight, called Crew 9, will bring home astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, who had to remain at the station since last June after their test flight of the Boeing Starliner had trouble, and NASA decided it was unsafe for them to fly at home. Eben Brown, Fox News.
We'll get a consumer price inflation update later this hour. Ahead of that, on Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after another big plunge for the Dow. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone. It's 25 degrees and sunny skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up. A push to replace the outdated emergency room at Upstate Medical University is gaining support from state lawmakers. The hospital has requested $450 million for the project, but Governor Hochul only set aside $200 million in her budget proposal. The Senate and Assembly are expected to pass their own budget plans, which will include Upstate's full funding request. Both chambers will then try and work out a compromise with the governor ahead of the April 1st deadline. Governor Kathy Hochul wants a universal phone ban solidified in New York State's budget. The bell-to-bell ban is endorsed by the Common Sense Media Council and its 80,000 members, with child welfare attorney Muna Heaven saying the proposal includes exclusions for children with individual educational plans, medical issues, and in certain tech classes. The governor says the ban is set to go in effect at the beginning of the next school year, with schools deciding how students store their phones for the entire day. She's made nearly $14 million available for schools that may need help with storage solutions. The Port Authority is celebrating after LaGuardia Airport was named the best in its class for the second year in a row. The award comes from Airports Council International, which rates airports based on consumer satisfaction in their respective classes. This year, LaGuardia achieved a 4.3 out of 5. That's a big step up from 2018, when the survey had LaGuardia rated as the worst airport in North America. Port Authority Chairman Kevin O'Toole credits the ongoing $8 billion transformation project at the airport, saying they currently predicted the upgrade would take LGA from worst to best. ACI says LaGuardia improved in almost every category from last year to this year among passengers. And Billy Joel fans hoping to see the Piano Man in Syracuse this year are going to have to wait a little bit longer. That's because the singer announced yesterday his April 11th show at the JMA Wireless Dome has been postponed until April 10th of 2026. Joel says he's putting his tour on hold as he recovers from surgery and undergoes physical therapy. All tickets purchased for the original date will be valid for the 2026 show, and people have 30 days to request a refund if they can't make it. Your WIBX News Time, it's 8:07. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Colder weather has pushed in now this morning, but milder weather quickly going to bounce back by Friday. We're once again up near 60 degrees. Today, sun to clouds, 40. Some rain and snow showers around tonight. Little, if any, accumulating snow possible. Maybe up to a slushy inch in some spots, especially out across the North Country. Clouds, 47 tomorrow. Friday, partly sunny, milder, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's 25 degrees in downtown Marcy under sunny skies. Your WIBX News Time is 8:08.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
Are you a CDPAP home care user or caregiver? Switch to PPL before April 1st to ensure a smooth transition. It's fast and easy, over the phone, online, at an in-person or virtual session, or with a CDPAP facilitator. Call PPL at 833-247-5346. That's 833-247-5346. Visit pplfirst.com/CDPAP. Register today. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Insera's Flooring Outlet has the area's largest flooring inventory and the best service and prices.
And Insera's will beat any advertised price on Revwood by Mohawk within a 60-mile radius of our store.
The U.S. is a land of quality and ingenuity, and American-made Revwood flooring is a prime example.
Revwood flooring from Mohawk has premium hardwood visuals, maximum scratch protection, and is fade-resistant.
Revwood flooring from Mohawk has exceptional durability and it's waterproof.
So you can have the beauty of wood without compromising quality.
Best of all, the long-lasting beauty of Revwood is made in the USA. That's American innovation you can be proud of.
Visit Insera's to discover the Revwood flooring that fits your style.
Insera's also offers Smart Strand carpets by Mohawk that are extraordinarily clean, exceptionally durable, and environmentally friendly.
Plus, you always get 6 months interest-free financing at Insera's.
See why more people buy from the big store. Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and online at inserasflooringoutlet.com.
There's not an occasion when you hear a statistic on the number of abortions occurring annually that your mind doesn't also think, how many babies' lives could have been saved? Preborn's network of clinics fights every day to save more babies. The number they've done so far in terms of saving is impressive over the last 2 decades. Over 300,000 unborn children brought into this world and saved. Preborn accomplishes this by introducing a mother to her child on ultrasound. When that happens, a baby's chance at life doubles. And that's not all. Preborn showers mothers and babies with assistance for up to 2 years. But they need your donations. One ultrasound is just $28, and $140 will help to rescue 5 babies. But any amount will help, and all your gifts to Preborn are tax deductible. To donate securely, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/HOPE. Sponsored by Preborn.
Stop by White's Farm Supply today to see how Cub Cadet commercial equipment is built for business. Now through March 31st, take 20% off all Cub Cadet commercial lawnmowers built to endure the demands of serious landscapers with powerful engines, wide cutting decks, and premium comfort. Don't delay. Head to White's Farm Supply today. Inventory may vary by dealer. Cannot be applied with any other discount. No cash value except where prohibited. Promotion is subject to change. Other restrictions may apply. Call your dealer or visit cubcadet.com for details.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I want to tell you, New York Sash has you covered when it comes to lowering that energy bill, and you can do so. Can you see under your doors? Is there light coming in? Is it a draft? You may need a new entry door or a sliding glass door. The highest standards designed to withstand upstate New York winters, and you can save on your heating bill as well. And in the summertime, you'll save on cooling your home. Energy efficient, beautiful, and they add value to your home. Whether it's a patio door or an entry door, any of the doors, they have you covered, and their windows are just superior. In my opinion, we have New York Sash windows. It'll also increase the value of your home, knowing it's a selling point, knowing that you have New York Sash brand windows. Call them today. You can see everything in their showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. See for yourself why more people are choosing New York Sash. And their installers are just, they're full-time employees. They're good people who really take care of your property. And I do want to tell you that the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. And I just spoke with another person last night at dinner that said recently just had that adjustment that I talk about. It's about a 30-minute adjustment. And you could be going to a chiropractor and still do this once a month. It opens everything up, including your back and your shoulders, even your sinuses. It's an osteopathic approach, and I do it every month. It makes a huge difference. And you can call them today at 315-507-4751. Need a new family doctor? They have you covered at the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. All right, a few things I want to get to. Syracuse plays tonight after almost blowing that game last night. They play tonight at what time, Davey?
9:30.
9:30, SMU. And they win here. It's Clemson. This is a game they could win.
Yeah.
But just like all season long, what has happened? They get in front. They end up almost giving away the game. For 6 minutes, they didn't score a point last night.
Well, it says 9:30, but the first game might run over because the first game at 7 o'clock is North Carolina and Notre Dame. This Syracuse game might not start till like 9:45, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. All right. And then Comets are home Friday, Saturday. Utica City FC on Sunday. And the Pioneers play at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Tickets go on sale for that NCAA tournament game at 10 a.m. this morning. Hamilton College plays in the NCAA men's hockey tournament. That'll be on the road. However, you can probably catch a stream of that. Make sure Scott can wait. I want to go to Brian Luska, who is with Nyskoba. Brian, the strike, this mess is over, but there are now about 2,000 people who lost their jobs through all of this. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for coming on.
How you doing, Bill?
Good. First of all, the executive order by the governor yesterday, were you surprised by that, saying these 2,000 people who have been let go that did not return by the deadline will not be able to take any law enforcement state jobs ever going forward?
At this point, no, it does not surprise me. It's ridiculous. If these people don't want to work for us, which I'm not pushing my people out the door, but, they should be able to get another job in their community.
Yeah. Are you satisfied with with what came out of all of this?
No. This is, the folks went back in the door, but this is far from over. Obviously, in that type of forum, it was hard to address our issues.
Yeah.
That been echoing because a lot of it's legislation, and with the majority, it's tough to get a bill passed, even an executive order. They can override it with 50+1. But here we are in the budget season, so there could be things done. Could be negotiations through Article 7 language.
So they put a 90-day pause on the HALT Act. Does that mean if an inmate attacks an inmate or attacks a corrections officer, they can be put into? What does that mean?
That don't mean anything. What that means is they are not going to get program and rec, which is great for a jail with a staffing issue with an RRU, but that addressed zero of our issues.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they're allowed to do in the confines of the law without changing the law. But we need to make some amendments to the law to bring back keep lock, to bring back protective custody, and Section K2 of the law, where the offenses are, what you can go to SHU for, need to be expanded.
Okay, all right. The fear is that if you're saying that most of this stuff isn't going to be corrected, we're going to be right back to square one, it seems.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I know, a lot of things that's happened transpired. We filed a lawsuit for taking health care. We filed an improper practice for direct dealing, not negotiating with Nyskoba. And they yanked one of our board members' union leave, so we filed an IP on that also, and we have some other things in the hopper.
Okay.
I know the 2,000 members. I know for my members in my region, I'm going to continue to do everything I can do to get every single one of those people back to work.
Okay. It doesn't seem to make sense. You're dealing with an overtime problem mandated, and they said they're going to work. I guess they're going to work with you on that. You're shorthanded, and now 2,000 people have been removed and can't come back.
We're short before that, right?
Right, you're short before. How does that make sense?
Now we're short 4,000. It makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
And all the recruitment initiatives that they are putting out, that's what we've been doing. It doesn't work.
Yeah. All right. So this is really to be continued.
Yeah, and we've carried our members' water. They took it from us. They just carried the water for the last 3.5 weeks. We got the water back, and we need to continue building off the momentum.
Okay. All right. All right. Very interesting. Keep us posted, Brian, if you can. And this is something that really, really needs to be corrected once and for all, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got the whole world's attention now, which is good.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can make some progress. And we really need the governor to take a step in the moderate direction and start governing.
Yeah. Okay.
Tough on the individuals firing them. She should get tough on her own party.
Yeah. So your goal is going to be to get those people who have been banned now, not just fired but banned, to get them back to work.
100%.
Okay. All right, Brian. We appreciate the update. Thank you so much. Keep us posted.
Appreciate it. Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great day, Brian Luska with Nice-Scoba. Quick break, and we'll come right back. Stand by. Scott, I'll get to you. We'll talk about Syracuse. And I got to tell you, if you look back on the number of games where Syracuse looked like they were about to win a game and they ended up blowing it, it happened multiple times this year. It almost happened last night. If they could get that out of their repertoire, I feel like they could make a run here in the ACC tournament. We'll see what Scott thinks. Coming up at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
There's not an occasion when you hear a statistic on the number of abortions occurring annually that your mind doesn't also think, how many babies' lives could have been saved? Preborn's network of clinics fights every day to save more babies. The number they've done so far in terms of saving is impressive over the last 2 decades. Over 300,000 unborn children brought into this world and saved. Preborn accomplishes this by introducing a mother to her child on ultrasound. When that happens, a baby's chance at life doubles. And that's not all. Preborn showers mothers and babies with assistance for up to 2 years. But they need your donations. One ultrasound is just $28, and $140 will help to rescue 5 babies. But any amount will help, and all your gifts to Preborn are tax deductible. To donate securely, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/hope. That's preborn.com/HOPE. Sponsored by Preborn.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, the Steep Pawnee Mazda New Year New Mazda sales event is back. They've increased their inventory with over 150 new Mazdas available, including my personal favorite, the CX-90, which you can get in standard gasoline or the hybrid model. There's the Mazda CX-30, CX-5, CX-50, and CX-70. These new 2025 Mazdas are available for lease, or you can enjoy this 0.9% APR financing. See the dealership for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steep Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville. You noticing that I'll get to you on that in a second. I keep hearing the same music over and over again. I don't know why that's happening. I keep hearing the same thing over and over again when it comes to Syracuse. They get a lead and they blow it. Scott and Kirkville almost blew that game last night.
Well, the trouble is they get a lead and they go away from how they got the lead.
Yeah, right.
Lampkin's dominated inside. They're not shooting the threes at all. And then you got Taylor trying to hit 2 or 3 threes during the initial. They should have put that game away in the first half.
Yeah,
they were up 7. They had 5 possessions where they, it looked like they didn't know what they were doing on offense. And then if you can't shoot free throws either at the end of the game, then you're in trouble too. I think.
Well, that was the other thing. They were missing free throws. If they could have scored at the line, that game would have had a different outcome as well. They just couldn't score anyway. For 6 minutes, there was nothing going in.
Right, and then I'm old school anyway. I'm a Vince Lombardi guy, so, act like you've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
When Lampkin comes out of the game and starts clapping hands with the fans and doing this dance, and I'm going, we're in trouble. Has he seen this movie before?
Yeah.
We're up 16, and all of a sudden, bam, they're down with 7. Now, thank God they're playing a Florida State team that's not that great scoring either. Once again, teams that Syracuse has been competitive with and beaten us, teams that don't run away from you. And they're the 3rd worst three-point shooting team in the ACC, which is not saying much this year. And that's another thing that they were playing a team that can't shoot. And how they've won is going to the free throw line. That one star seems like he lives there.
Yeah.
And so if they're not making their free throws, they're getting there. It's just I said this before, and you can go up to the 4th seed Wake Forest. You take away Clemson and Louisville and Duke, you can put like a net around all the teams. Anybody can beat anybody. And if you noticed from a betting purposes, California, which is the 15 seed, they were favored over Virginia Tech, which is the 10 seed.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh was favored over Notre Dame. And Syracuse last night was only a 2-point underdog. So where seeds are really don't matter in this tournament.
Right.
And that's why I think they got a good shot against SMU. And unfortunately, they drew Clemson in the next round if they do beat SMU, because they drew Wake Forest or Louisville. I think they had a shot maybe going to Friday. And then, of course, nobody's beating Duke. If Duke's motivated, no one's beating Duke in this tournament.
Yeah. All right, Scott. Interesting. We'll see what happens tonight. That game's going to be late tonight.
Yeah, late night. Oh, by the way, I'd like to thank people out there. My goal is to get more clicks than the mayor of Frankfurt. I understand I got more clicks than John Mannion. And I'm big game hunting. When are you going to have Governor Hochul on? I'm going to try to get more clicks.
We're working on it. Okay. We probably never, to be honest with you. So. All right.
Anyway, I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank the people out there for clicking on and listening.
All right. Good stuff, Scott.
Yep.
You get clicks, but you don't have a smartphone. You got to get a smartphone. Before I let you go, I want to bring in Kathy, who has
Michigan State Kathy.
Big,
having a great season.
Big questions for you, Kathy. You're on with Scott.
Thank you. Hey, Scott. Since they're conference champions, I think they should do well in the tournament. If they don't they seem to keep matching them up to Duke, and most of the time when they play Duke, they lose.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing when they go to the Final Four. They're always playing Duke in that semifinals. Kathy, they're a good. They got a great tournament coach because he gets into his players. He's not afraid to tell them what to do and how to do it. And I've seen that. And coaching just seems to be scared now. All these because they're worried about transfer portals. Where your coach Izzo doesn't care. He's been there it's like Coach Boeheim. He's been there for years. The only thing that might stop them, is their outside shooting. They're amazing. They're the worst in the Big Ten, but they're so aggressive and they fast break. But the bottom line is they have a coach that knows how to win in big games, and that's great. That's like Rick Pitino with St. John. So you guys, it's all about matchups. Come Sunday, we'll see where they are. They think they can get a 1 seed. I think they're a 2 seed. and just who, like you said, who they match up. But in this day and age, how he kept the players around is once again is a great tribute to Tom Izzo in this day and age.
They love Izzo so much. I hope that the freshmen and the sophomores stay.
All right, Kathy. All right. Good luck out there.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks, Michigan State, Kathy.
And then Scott, Mike says the end of the Pittsburgh Notre Dame game was crazy.
Oh, come on. You know what? I don't know. I know where you saw with the referee. Take a look at the angle of the referee that made the call.
Yeah.
He is in the corner where he made it. There's bodies everywhere. I mean, if he was maybe knocked down or whatever, but, the game's tied. It's not a win or lose. It's tied. Let them win it on the court.
On the court.
It was nuts. I mean, and look at Notre Dame guys. They thought they're going overtime. Everybody thought they're going overtime.
Yeah.
I don't get it. They don't call anything for 39 minutes when guys are driving. Now you're going to call it with 0.5 seconds. Crazy.
Davey.
And I was watching the game with Scott. How about West Durham saying, this game's going to go into overtime, and then all of a sudden the foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one knew about what's going on. I mean, and like I said, take a look at the angle where the official called it. There is no way he saw contact. And by the way, how much contact there was a rebounding thing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
All right, Scott, we'll see what we'll talk to you again tomorrow. We'll see what they do tonight.
I think it's going to be a late night tonight, and I got a feeling it might be a late night Thursday for the fans of Syracuse.
All right, let's hope they win it tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Scott. Scott. Coming up, Sheriff Maciol. First, though, Megan does a news update. Here it's 8:30 at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:30 on the nose. I'm Megan Stone. It is 26 degrees under sunny skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up. Protesters in New York City continue to call for the release of Mohammed Khalil from a federal custody. The pro-Palestinian activist is well known for helping organize demonstrations on the campus of Columbia University. Khalil remains in custody following his arrest by ICE agents this past weekend, and his detention has drawn criticism that he's being unfairly targeted by the Trump administration for his activism. The deportation hearing set is in Lower Manhattan for Khalil. His lawyers are challenging the orders from the Trump administration, arguing he is here illegally with a green card. There have been numerous rallies in support of Khalil this week, and one is planned for Foley Square at 11 o'clock this morning, just prior to that deportation hearing. President Trump has said there will be more similar deportation efforts coming for people who the Trump administration feels are engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic activity. Oklahoma is the latest state to report a positive case of measles. The state's Department of Health says 2 people began showing symptoms after being exposed to measles cases associated with the outbreaks in Texas and New Mexico. Texas has reported over 200 cases of the highly contagious disease, while New Mexico is up to 33. Many of the infected have been unvaccinated children. And Utah will be the first state to ban fluoride in public drinking water, despite opposition from health experts. Governor Spencer Cox says he will sign the bill passed last month, arguing fluoridation should be an individual choice. Supporters cite concerns and a 2019 fluoride overdose incident, while opponents warn of increased tooth decay, especially for low-income residents. Meanwhile, a similar measure is moving forward in Florida. Your WIBX news time is 4:32. Here is your forecast.
Colder weather has pushed in now this morning, but milder weather quickly going to bounce back by Friday. We're once again up near 60 degrees. Today, sun to clouds, 40. Some rain and snow showers around tonight. Little, if any, accumulating snow possible. Maybe up to a slushy inch in some spots, especially out across the North Country. Clouds, 47 tomorrow. Friday, partly sunny, milder, upper 50s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
26 degrees under sunny skies. Your news time is 8:33 on WIBX. I'm Megan Stone.
There's my mic. We'll speak with Sheriff Maciol coming up. It's been a busy week, has it not?
Extremely busy.
Yeah, we'll speak with the sheriff.
Busy.
Sheriff coming right up, and then Ryan Nobles from NBC. And Sarah's Flooring Outlet has the area's largest flooring inventory and the best service, the best prices. We have gotten from Encera's the most amazing hardwoods. They're just beautiful, and the installation was incredible. And a whole bunch of tile that is unique and awesome. But if you're looking for something different, they have the American-made Revwood flooring, and it is made in the USA. It is awesome. It's Revwood flooring from Mohawk, premium hardwood visuals, maximum scratch protection, and it is fade-resistant. Exceptional durability, so you have the beauty of wood without compromising quality. Best of all, the long-lasting beauty of Revwood is made in the USA. It's American innovation that we can all be proud of. Visit Encera's to discover the Revwood flooring that fits your style. They also have Smart Strand carpets by Mohawk that are extraordinarily clean, durable, and environmentally friendly. Plus, you'll always get 6 months interest-free financing at Encera's. Sal says, come on in. They're offering a wide variety of flooring from Mohawk, all on sale right now at unbeatable prices. Why would you buy anywhere else than the big store? It is Encera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy. Online, encerasflooringoutlet.com.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Okay, we need brakes and tires. Check the battery too, please, and how about an oil change?
There's one local shop that really knows how important it is to keep our youngest passengers safe. Mulgeri's Auto Repair, family owned and operated since 1928. That's 3 generations of family that's been looking out for your family. Trusted for nearly 100 years to keep your car on the road, plus towing, brakes and tires, and good, low mileage used cars. Mulgeri's Auto Repair, 501 Albany Street, Utica. Call 315-733-5033.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Oh, boy. The official coffee of the program is Daylight Donuts. And listen, it gets to be about 11 a.m. I don't know if it's age, if it's the medicine I'm on, if it's I don't sleep at night, but you get tired. And without Daylight Donuts Espresso, I do not know where I would be. Literally, I don't think I know where I would be. It's Daylight Donuts. Whether it's their coffee, Seattle's best, breakfast sandwiches, their donuts are made fresh there every day. Drive-through is lightning fast. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Some interesting things to get into with Sheriff Rob Maciol, who is in right now. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. All right, let's start with a rundown of the cases that have hit you guys in the last week.
The last week or so has just been incredibly busy for the sheriff's office. Probably a run of 5 or 6 days that we've not seen in quite some time. But since last week, obviously we've had 4 serious car accidents.
Yeah.
One in which 2 buses collided and a bus driver was killed. Another where 2 vehicles collided, again weather related, head on. 6 people trapped. No fatalities in that one. Obviously, we had a car pedestrian last week where a pedestrian was killed, and the sheriff's office, our criminal investigation unit, made an arrest in that just the other day. Good old-fashioned police work and some help from the public helped us with that case. And then also over the weekend, we had an individual on South James Street in the city of Rome cross over into the opposite lane of traffic and hit one of my road patrol sergeants in a marked patrol car head-on. That was not weather-related. That's some other factors, and there'll be charges coming, as a result of that. That just covers the accidents. A lot of tragedy. Just.
Did we mention the train?
We had the individual walking along the train tracks just outside the city of Rome, Martin Street, and the 49 overpass on the CXX Railroad, and a backpack that she was wearing, ironically, caught onto the side of the train, and she was dragged a short distance before they could stop, and she was hospitalized.
She was dragged for?
It wasn't a long distance, but again, that's why it's illegal to trespass on railroad tracks out of safety.
Was the train scheduled to stop, or did they realize?
No, I believe they realized what happened.
And it takes a long time for trains to stop.
I mean, an Amtrak is much shorter than a rail cars.
Right.
Obviously, they take quite a distance to stop.
Yeah,
and obviously, it just come through the Rome station, so they weren't going super fast. But again, people can't be on the tracks, so we're dealing with that.
What was this person doing on the tracks?
Unfortunately, I don't believe they have a place to live.
Okay, all right.
That's how they ended out there.
Well, then that is all along the tracks.
Yeah,
I don't know why
it's
that
very
is.
sad. I mean, there's so much need in our community, and we had a case the other day where an individual stole a running vehicle out in front of the jail. Someone had stopped to go inside to conduct some business at our jail. Unfortunately, they left their car unlocked and they left it running. And there was an individual who had just been bailed out on a charge that we can't hold them on. And they stole that vehicle. The Utica Police Department recovered it for us later in the day. The person was charged again, and lo and behold, with bail reform, they were released yet again. And
this
again,
is almost
another sad case.
So bail reform is to protect the person's constitutional rights. Mm-hmm. The problem is, before bail reform, these people who are in need of services used to be, I don't want to say forced, but they were
mandated.
They were put in jail, and they got the services they needed. Now you got to release them right out into the street.
It is sad, and there's
to protect them.
And there's not a lot of mandated programs. As you know, state funding and federal funding for whether it's mental health programs or mental health facilities no longer exist. So our community is dealing with a lot of mental health issues. Unfortunately, we still see drug use out there. We see drunk driving and drug driving. These are all things that kind of came to a head over this weekend, and just an incredible busy weekend for us.
I want to quickly. I've got about 5 minutes because there's a biggie I want to get to. First, the bus accident. Yes. How rare, unheard of. Just think of the odds.
Sure.
That it's 2 school buses out in a rural area that collided, which was terrible.
2 school buses from the same district. Obviously it's a tight-knit family like every other bus garage. I mean, we deal with transportation departments all the time at our office, and they're all in the bus garage before they head out on their routes. They all have, whether it's a coffee together or something before they head out. And it was just one of those days where it was a beautiful day in 95% of the county with sunshine. It was cold, don't get me wrong, and it was very windy, but it was a sunny day. And then there were these spots where it was a complete whiteout. And I was at the scene of this accident. When I tell you complete whiteout, We were standing outside, and literally you couldn't see the person next to you when
Wow.
that wind was moving. And these two buses, again, you don't know where the road is. I've been caught in them whiteouts. I'm sure you have, growing up where you lived. Or,
They're nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and you don't know what to do. Do I stop?
I almost feel that we're better off today. Vickerman Hill used to be closed. In fact, it was closed on that day.
Yes.
Route 28 between Mohawk and Richfield Springs. As you get to the top of the hill there, it's brutal because that's all farmland.
Wide open.
Yep.
And wide open. The hill itself has had a lot of development in the last 50 years.
Which has
put
broken up
houses
that
there
wind.
and broken up the wind.
Absolutely.
But as you get to the top of the hill, fields, pastures,
exactly,
horrible conditions, and that is exactly what you're dealing with.
Exactly what happened. You don't know where the road is, and before you know it, two buses appear, and there's...
I just wanted to bring up the fact that these kids on the bus witnessed this.
They did.
That's horrible.
Just a horrible crash.
Yeah.
How young were they?
The ones on the small bus where the bus driver was the bus driver got killed. They were small children, elementary
Yeah, it's
level.
terrible.
The big bus, they were high school, older kids. Luckily, the injuries that were that the children received were not life threatening, but some of them were still serious. Serious enough.
And you could see
everything.
you could see by the pictures. There's
Significant
no way that a driver could have survived.
That is correct.
Yeah,
it's just
terrible.
a tragic thing. And like I said, I just our people did an amazing work throughout the whole weekend. Just this, people getting called in time after time and working out in those conditions. It's not pleasant, and then to throw in, we had a couple school threats that didn't pan out, and again that was made.
Thankfully, they didn't.
Yeah,
pan
the
out.
one thing that got very frustrating for law enforcement is the social media stuff was going crazy, and parents who were not informed or were trying to make their own assumptions. I mean, we have a threat assessment team. I mean, I have children. Everybody on the sheriff's office threat assessment team has children in school. We're not, if someone's school or particular person or group or school is in danger, believe me, we are not going to let things happen if we're saying something's unfounded, we're pretty confident in saying that. And please, we want people to trust us. That's what we do. We're here to keep people safe.
Yeah. All right. I do want to, before we let you go, bring this issue up. And that is the executive order from the governor, which is saying these people can no longer work. If you have been fired, 2,000 were fired.
Correct.
Some of those people, the reason they didn't return to work is because they chose probably a better work environment to maybe take a job somewhere else. I'm told you may have 20 pending cases.
We have
of
upwards
job
of
applicants.
50. Upwards of 50.
And now those people, you can't hire them.
Her executive order, if you want to talk about overreaching, maybe as the governor, she can say that they can no longer work for the state of New York. But, home rule was just set aside. And for her to say that if you can't work for me, you can't work for anybody, extremely overreaching. And again, we want state corrections. We're partners with them. We want them to be fully staffed. We want to be fully staffed. But if someone makes a decision that they don't want to work in that climate or that atmosphere or for that company, even if we're talking private sector, you should have the right to go somewhere else. I mean, if these are good employees
I think you have a constitutional issue here.
You really do. And the New York State Association of Counties, the county executive and I spoke yesterday. I know his association, NISAC, our association, the State Sheriff's Association, is obviously we're looking into what we believe is a severe overreach.
What are they thinking? Because this will have to go through the court process, which is going to slow down any hiring that you can do. And she's going to be sitting there with egg on her face because I don't think this thing can stand.
No, and now
are there attorneys in Albany that are saying, hey, you can't do this? Apparently not.
Either that or is it, let's do something and see if it gets challenged. I don't know. But now they've got more vacancies than they ever had now. State corrections. I don't know how they recover from
this.
That.
This is an example of assuming something and painting a broad picture of people who were defiant. They were out on a strike that they shouldn't have been in, and they are bad people because of that.
That is nothing farther from the
truth.
Untrue. I mean, I met with a lot of these people who came to us. We didn't go to them. They came to us, and they have families. They're just worn out from 24-hour shifts. 24-hour shifts working on their days off. I mean, we don't allow anyone to work more than 16. We don't make people work on their days off. I mean, certainly if they want to, they can. It's a smaller facility. We operate completely different. We have a lot of technology that, believe it or not, state corrections doesn't have. So if there's someone who wants to come work for us, they should be allowed to. And to tell them that they can't.
Because guess what? If one of these people was someone who was quote unquote bad, that would, you have the right. You interview these people,
and we do background,
and you would do a background check, and you should have the right to be able to say this person is qualified, this person is a good hire, or not.
Exactly.
And that's unbelievable.
I don't know how they can tell us, how the state government can tell us who we can and can't hire.
Yeah,
I mean,
big
doesn't make sense.
Big overreach.
Very frustrating. And the whole strike, we've been affected by it several ways. I have deputy sheriffs who on our road patrol are no longer with us temporarily because they've been activated with the National Guard. They're in a facility somewhere in the state. So that's hurting us there. I have multiple state-ready inmates who have been sentenced to state prison time. The state corrections are refusing to take our state readies. County jails across the state, we're holding inmates that we're not even supposed to be holding anymore. And so we're all feeling the effects of it.
And here's the deal. If they were 2,000 COs short, 2,000 employees short, before this, they're now 4.
Now they're 4.
That's crazy. Sheriff, thank you
very much
for the
Thanks,
update. Tough week for you guys. And then the other part that people don't understand is your deputies, your staff, yourself, all of those in first responders. This is emotional for this bus accident.
The bus accident alone, the fatal pedestrian accident. I mean, the fire departments, the EMS workers, and of course the law enforcement working these accident scenes. Just to see death time and time and time again, it wears you down.
Yeah. Be safe out there. Thank you. Sheriff Rob Maciol. One more to squeeze in before we get out of here this morning. It's been a busy morning. The one and only from NBC, Ryan Nobles. Good morning.
You're just squeezing me in. Is that what I've been reduced to now, Bill?
Yes. There's a quick little opening. I'm going to poke you into it, and here we go.
Right.
Listen, you. Speaking of busy, there's just so much happening right now. Let's start with Mike Johnson. Am I correct in saying that they voted, they passed, and he got out of Dodge?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I think we're going to have to start to recognize that maybe Mike Johnson might be good at this job. He came into the speakership as with no experience in leadership. He really didn't have all that much experience in Congress. He was somebody who was a bit of an outsider pick, but he basically got the job because no one hated him. And he has used the fact that he's an affable guy who people seem to trust to convince some of the more conservative members of his ranks to take votes that they normally wouldn't take. And that's the example here with this vote yesterday to keep the government open and extend government funding. Conservative Republicans hate these continuing resolutions. They think that's part of the reason that we have such a budget crisis. But Mike Johnson found a way to get them over the finish line. And it's, we can't give him too much praise without pointing out that Donald Trump played a major role in basically leaning on these House Freedom Caucus to vote yes. But we're not there yet, Bill. There's still some work to do in the Senate before we avoid a shutdown on Friday.
So you have Rand Paul right now saying he's a no vote. Everybody else is at least eligible at this point. But the Democrats are going to want some concessions, and I'm not sure they're going to get them. Where does that put us as this heads to the Senate?
Yeah, so Rand Paul said he's a yes, or he said he's a no. But John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, who's a Democrat, has already said that he is a yes, so they cancel each other out. So that means it's 8 Democrats that would be required to come over and vote with Republicans. And there are a number of these Republicans that are in very difficult reelection battles in 2026. And I just don't see what the Democratic exit strategy here is. So, I'm actually working on a TikTok now about this very topic, Bill. I know you love TikTok, so you might want to look for this after the call.
I will.
But basically, there's 5 dynamics that I think Democrats are looking for here, and I won't go through all 5 of them right now. But I think the 2 biggest ones that they're weighing is what is their exit strategy, right? You could shut down the government. You could make that political point. You could demonstrate to your base that you're fighting Donald Trump, but then what? And you're right, they would look for some sort of concession. But I think Republicans would say, we're not conceding anything. We'll shut down the government and we'll blame it all on you.
Yeah,
that would be a huge, huge political mistake. And then the other part of it is that they are really worried about the impacts of a shutdown. And I don't think they want to use the very limited political capital that they have to shut down the government and already decimate federal workers that are facing so much right now at the hands of the Trump administration. I just think it's a political loser for them on every respect. But that doesn't mean that their base is going to erupt with anger that they are not standing up to the Trump administration at this particular juncture. But I just think that the negatives far outweigh the positives in them going toe-to-toe with the Trump administration at this point. So my guess is by Friday, you're going to see at least 8 Democrats cross over the line and vote for it.
Well, it's interesting because our friend Ryan Schmell from Fox News Radio said, I think earlier in the week, that one of the members had said, we've had shutdowns. Democrats are never blamed for shutdowns. We need to avoid it as Republicans. However, in this case, I think Democrats could walk away on the bad end of this if the Senate were not to come up with the 8 votes.
Yeah, Ryan Schmell is my good buddy. Have you guys ever talked about that?
I have, and you apparently are in a
romance.
We were served on romance. No, we served on the radio television bromance. Yes,
yes.
We served on the Radio Television Correspondents Association together. So yes, good board member of mine. Listen. Everyone loses in a shutdown, right? So the idea that the Democrats have never escaped any blame for a shutdown is not true. The political consequences of a shutdown are across the board. And I think that there is a real possibility that if they shut down, Donald Trump will bear some of the responsibility for that. I think that people will blame him for that. But Democrats will also be blamed. And I think Democrats are in a much more precarious political position right now where they cannot afford to lose any more ground than what they've already lost. So I just think that the risks far outweigh the rewards. And I also think that right now, the Dow, the stock market's in real trouble. There's the threat of a recession. You see Elon Musk's stock tanking. There is signs here that the Democrats are having an impact on Donald Trump's political fortunes. Why would you give him an opportunity to turn things back around on you at this stage? I just don't think that is a long-term strategy that's going to be met with success. But I do think that the base is going to just be up in arms about it. So there's a lot to this.
And I wanted to we'll leave you with this. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Democrats obviously they're disorganized at this point, trying to figure out what happened, the Joe Biden mess, everything just turned upside down on Democrats. And I think we talked a little bit about this, but I want to know if they're realizing they have an issue, and that is the sitting on their hands when and I understand it was a trap probably from the president, but you have the kid with cancer who wants to be a police officer from the address the other night. You have a mother who just lost her daughter. And while I hate these things because they're marching people out for their own political reasons who are definitely in anguish, Democrats sitting on their hands is not a good look for middle America.
Oh, and I think they know that. I mean, I think that, they went in with a strategy of we're just going to be we're just going to be straight-faced the entire time. We're not going to respond to anything, positive or negative. That didn't work because half of their, not even half, but like a quarter of their members decided that they were going to openly protest throughout the entire speech. Yeah. And then when you got to the point where there were actually positive things that everybody could agree upon were good things, they refused to stand and clap. And I think if they had like kind of the stoic look the entire time from start to finish, maybe that strategy would have worked. But when you have a quarter, you have one of your members waving his cane and screaming at the president and being forcibly removed, you have others standing up with statements on their backs. And, if you're going to go all in, you got to go all in. And they didn't go all in. They went half in. And when you go half in, it's a mess. And I think it's indicative of where the party is right now. They don't have a clear message. They don't have a clear strategy, and it's demonstrating itself in real time.
Listen, my wife, she's a second-grade teacher. You know her well. Mm-hmm. For her to say that sign thing is stupid, she's a second-grade teacher. So they got to get past this. And I almost feel the Democratic response, I've got 15 seconds, but the Democratic response was a good start, I feel.
But and Alyssa Slotkin
Yes.
is the example of who the Democrats want their voters to see, and they want the swing voters to see as well. And so I think that's the base of where they move, and whether or not that translates into 2026 is something we're going to have to watch.
Ryan Nobles, as always, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and a great week.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, thanks so much. Ryan from NBC. All right, it's been a busy morning. I need to take a breath. We have news and then Kill Me up next to WIBX.
Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. It's March Meltdown. What does that mean? We want to help you melt that stubborn body fat. Join us today for only $57. But hurry, that won't last long. Stop the madness and start your meltdown today with 2 convenient locations in Whitesboro and Clinton. What are you waiting for? The time is now to start living your best life. If you call us today or find us on Facebook, your first 3 sessions are free on me.
We're the power and power equipment, White's Farm Supply.
At Kubota, we want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why we want you to know that new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You have work to do. We have the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power and power equipment, White's Farm Supply.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
An end to the trend. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Inflation is easing, according to this report for February.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni on the Consumer Price Index just out.
Month over month, we got a gain of 0.2%. The street was looking for a gain of 0.3%. We came in 2.8% year over year.
That is less than the 3% annual rate in January, which had continued a months-long trend of inflation creeping up, and Wall Street likes an end to that trend. We have stock futures rising after big sell-offs over worries more inflation's coming because of tariffs. So far this month, the Dow's plunged 2,500 points, and as Fox's Ryan Schmell reports, there are new tariffs today.
A 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports are now in effect amid economic uncertainty. President Trump backing off of his threat of a 50% tariff on Canada after Ontario Premier Doug Ford implemented a 25% charge on electricity exports to the U.S. The White House says Ford decided to pull those tariffs after speaking with members of the Trump administration.
But Canada is retaliating this morning to the new steel and aluminum tariffs, planning charges on nearly $30 billion worth of U.S. exports. The European Union also imposing tariffs on $26 billion of American goods. Russia went on the attack across Ukraine, killing at least 5 civilians, hours after Ukraine agreed to a 30-day ceasefire. In talks with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who just said he'll talk to the Russians next.
If Russia says yes, that's very good news, and we will begin that process and do everything we can to move that process forward. If they say no, then obviously we'll have to examine everything and sort of figure out where we stand in the world and what their true intentions are.
The day after House Republicans approved a funding plan to fund the government ahead of a Friday deadline, House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox,
we have to keep the government operating, and Congress has a responsibility to do that, and Chuck Schumer has to weigh that today. And I hope he does the right thing.
Senate Democrats may force a compromise since Republicans cannot pass the bill on their own in the Senate without the help of the Democrats. America's listening to Fox News.
Meet Kelsey. When she found out she was pregnant, she wasn't sure where to turn. But after meeting with the counselors at a preborn network clinic, they welcomed her and supported her and provided her with a free ultrasound. Kelsey heard her baby's heartbeat and she chose life.
When a mother looks at her child through a sonogram, it does something to you. You know, I ended up deciding to keep my son, who is now 5 years old today. He's amazing. He brings absolute joy to my heart. I could not imagine life without him.
By introducing a woman to her baby on an ultrasound, a baby's chance